On the right camera? Yeah, I'm on the right camera.
Al? We lost the stream.
Let me check my audio inputs. Got an air input.
Oh, maybe it's
working?
back.
That should be working. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Al. Can you hear me?
Audio output device should be...
We shouldn't have done this.
No, I don't want that.
Al?
Yeah.
That just completely cut the live stream. We're off air now.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah. So
okay.
It's the problem that it causes a new link. New link. I know you're live, but the YouTube link.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so they can see us. How is it they can see us then?
So, first of all, can you hear us in the?
I see us on YouTube Live, but you're saying this. Hang on.
Oh, you see us on YouTube Live.
Let's see. Let me play us.
Okay, I do too now. Maybe we are still live. Al is back.
I don't know if we're current though.
Al
I think
is
it goes
back
28
in order now. I've got the new headphones on, so it must be the new feed. The new feed.
Oh. Hang on. But it looks like it stops at 29 minutes. If you go to podfeet.com/live, can anybody see us live on podfeet.com/live?
That one is probably a new link.
Okay, he says YouTube. Ian says YouTube and /live are showing a clock. Yeah. So it does look like you're going to have to grab grab the link again. Do you want me to grab it for you, sweetie?
I'll get it.
It's right. Grab the embed one. We're still getting the hang of this. All right, I was putting in a chapter marker and getting ready to record. It's interesting. So, wait, lost it again. Allison's only in my right ear. Back again. So, Sandy, where are you seeing us? So, hey, Steve, they must be... How are they seeing us? Because they're both saying they see us.
Some people watch directly on YouTube. That seems to have updated. The live NosillaCast page hasn't until now, which I just updated. So YouTube seems to be updating automatically when we drop a link and we start a new stream. It updates the URL, but Podfeet, I have to paste in the URL from YouTube.
Okay.
So we're up on Podfeet now. We're up on YouTube.
Sandy says now the video looks like garbage for her. Huh. That's interesting. So and plugging really you into quiet. Ethernet. Really?
Yeah, I think these headphones are just really...
Have you changed outputs? So there's a big story behind the headphones, but I'm not ready to tell the story yet. Okay. Sandy says, yep, back again. So Sandy's watching on YouTube Live. No, she's on our Podfeet site.
Yeah, I updated the link on Podfeet.
Okay.
So it's the new link.
It sounded like she said that earlier, but okay. I better get back to recording. Muting you. Okay. We haven't put off site yet, so maybe we'll check into that.
We should talk more. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All righty. Thank you, Allison.
Well, you know I'm a huge fan of Excel and all things spreadsheets, right? Pivot tables, complex equations, they all make my heart go pitter-pat. But I've never really understood databases. I can explain what they are intellectually and why they're not like spreadsheets, but only at a very surface level. I've never really grokked them because I haven't had access to a database program or found a problem they might solve for me. On Screencast Online episode 546 and 548, quite a while back, Don McAllister introduced a database application for the Mac, iOS, Windows, and Android called Airtable from airtable.com. Airtable is under the freemium model, so while they have a Plus, Pro, and Enterprise pricing, Airtable is really capable for the home user for free. Don's tutorials got me really excited about using Airtable, but for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what problem it was going to solve for me. While Don taught the mechanics of Airtable, I still didn't get the purpose of a database. I was determined to figure this out, though. After Steve and I went to CSUN, I thought I might have a very simple problem a database could solve. When we go to a conference and record video interviews, we have to keep track of a lot of information. A few years ago, I started putting this information into a Google spreadsheet, one for each one of these events, so it was easier for us to share between us. It started out pretty simple. For every interview, I put in the essential information from the person's business card. Name of the product we talked about, name of their company, the interviewee's name and their email, and the website for the company. But then we noticed sometimes we'd also get the card for the marketing person, so we put in 2 more columns. Then Steve added some columns for him to keep track of the order in which they'd been recorded and the order in which he would produce them, which is often not the same. He always puts in the description of the videos where the interview took place, so he added columns for the event and the venue. Then he added a column so he could note when he'd posted the video. You may have noticed that we spam everyone when we post a video. So that means columns that we'd put X's in to show when we'd each tweeted, Facebook, Google+, the content, I should say. All right, now hang on. I still needed a column to mark off when I send an email to the person I interviewed. Wait, one more. When I actually play the audio on the podcast, I have to check off yet another box. Anyway, you get the point. By the time we were done, there were 21 columns of information. Now, since Steve's data was all on the left of the spreadsheet, I was always really frustrated. I had to scroll all the way to the right to get to the information I cared about. Now, I wasn't sure Airtable would be able to help with this, but I just had to give it a try. Turns out to be kind of a dumb example for a database, but it did solve many of my problems. I want to take a moment here to give a shout out to NosillaCastaway Jino Choi, who got on a Discord screen sharing session with me to help me get the basics under my belt. He really got me excited to keep learning how to use Airtable. Now, I'm not going to give you a full tutorial on Airtable because Don already did that, but some terminology is going to be necessary in order to tell you the story of my growth in understanding databases. Every new thing you're going to do with Airtable is called a base. Inside a base, you have tables. Now think of tables as looking like tabs in a spreadsheet, but they don't act like tabs. Inside a table, instead of having rows and columns, you've got records that go horizontally and fields that are vertical columns. All right, now we got our terminology down. I downloaded the Airtable Mac app and the iOS app on my iPad and iPhone, so I had it all 3 places and I got to work. I created my first base and I called it CSUN 2018 Interviews. Inside the base, I created a table called All Data. Sadly, this base will only have 1 table, which is why I said I didn't really crack the code yet on what a database is for. Spoiler though, I've got a second example that's starting to ravel this mystery for me. The first column of your spreadsheet is kind of a sacred field. I started by importing our giant spreadsheet of doom, trademark Donald Burr, and that was a big mistake because the first column in our spreadsheet was the recording number that Steve uses, and that has no meaning to me whatsoever. That made a big mess of things. So I started over. I made the first field be the company name. If I ever figured out what to do with the other tables, that company name would be the logical thing to use as a cross-reference. I then made columns for all the other gunk we needed to track. The fun began when I realized how many different kinds of data you can choose from within Airtable for these fields. For example, in our spreadsheet, we had a column called Twitter, and then 1, 2, or 3 X's in that column would tell you whether we'd tweeted from all 3 of our accounts. Steve has one with SP Sheridan, and I've got Podfeet and NosillaCast. So we would type in these 3 X's, but you didn't really know from the X's who had tweeted. In Airtable, you can customize a field to be a multiple select and then put in only valid selections. So I put in the 3 names, and now when we go to that field, we just tap the plus button and then tap the account from which we tweeted. Airtable automatically makes them different colored bubbles, so it's really eye-catching and clean. For things like email sent or podcast played, I just made them checkboxes. I set the fields that were websites to only accept valid URLs, and emails I set to be only valid addresses as well. Now, my table was pretty and easier to mark off than would have been done, but I still had the problem of a very wide page with all this glop of Steve's that I didn't care about, and the initial data entry of the information about the vendor was very tedious. That's when I discovered views. Views allow you to see the same data in the table, but in a format that's easier for you to work with. I found out that if I created my own view, I could simply tell it not to show me all those columns Steve needed, but were just in my way. Now I have this compact, clean form to work in, and he can still have his giant wide view. I did also You know what? That word is supposed to be view, not form. And I'm going to fix that right now.
By the way, we've lost your ability to show your screen, I think, when we did the reset. So
okay.
I can't show your screen.
Okay, just a second.
Got it.
I got to fix this. Okay. And I'm going to send that back to the web. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if we're going to need this, but let's fix it just in case. Hey, why is it showing me twice? Oh, because of this problem that you're telling me right now.
For some reason, it's sending you your video twice.
Because I didn't fix this. Shit. Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, good. Now, where was I? Uh-oh. Hang on. All right, where was I? Preview. Okay. I said form, and then I turned around and said, that's when I discovered forms with. I found out that if I created my own view, I could simply tell it not to show me all those columns Steve needed, but were just in my way. Okay, there we go. Right there. Whoops. No. Come on. Oh, come on. All right, there. Okay, there we go. No. Jeez. Just deleted everything but what I wanted to delete. There we go. All right. Anything interesting in the chat room I need to be reading? We deleted her twin.
Sandy just pointed out that you had a twin just like her.
I like it. Okay. Good muting. Now I have a compact, clean view to work in, and he can still have his giant wide view that makes him happy. We both get what we want. I also discovered forms, and they changed how I feel about doing the data entry during and after a trade show. Normally, it's really, really tedious to fill out this spreadsheet. In Airtable, I created a form called Business Card Entry Form, and I was able to drag and drop in only the fields I needed up front, like filling in the business card information into this nice vertically formatted form. It's beautiful. Forms are designed to allow you to have someone else enter data, but not have access to your database. So after you create a form, you post it somewhere online or just send the private URL to people that you want to have contribute to your database. In my case, I only shared it with myself, but when I showed it to Jin-Ho Choi, he was thrilled. He was having people send him data in spreadsheets and then having to import it by hand, and now that form will allow those people to send their data right into his base. It's kind of great to have discovered something that he didn't know after all the help he gave me. So being able to access Airtable from my Mac, iPhone, iPad, and even just through a web browser is fantastic to keep things up to date. And of course, I'm able to share it with Steve because he has Airtable on his devices, all for free. Now, while Airtable was pretty and made the work easier and more pleasant, I knew I had just created a glorified spreadsheet. It was time to take things up a notch. Well, Steve and I have been talking about remodeling all of the bathrooms in our house for ages, but we have trouble with the start part of a project like this. Dorothy, you may also know her as Mac Lurker from the live chat room, has actually torn down half of her house and had it rebuilt in the time we've thought about maybe fixing to make a plan to go look at some faucets. Anyway, at her urging, we finally met with her contractor and designer. As we walked through the different rooms and they threw out remodeling ideas about each room, I furiously scribbled down notes. I learned a whole lot of new words like sconce. Who knew? Turns out it means a light. Anyway, I started thinking about all the decisions we'd have to make on so many different things. There was floor tile and shower tile and overhead lights and sconces and faucets and sinks and tubs and toilets. And I was willing to bet that in a lot of cases, we'd pick the same thing for two different rooms. Steve and I are really not imaginative enough to pick two different types of overhead lights or sconces, and I was betting the tile would end up being the same in at least two rooms. I thought maybe I'd come up with the three-dimensional problem that a database... I said that wrong. I'm going to save while I'm there. I thought maybe I've come up with the three-dimensional problem that a database could solve. I had great fun experimenting with how this would work, and I'll spare you most of the ideas that didn't pan out. I did spend some time with Dorothy helping me kind of try to think through this, and I sent Jin Choi a whole bunch of different versions of what I was trying to do. Luckily, he was too busy to look at it because I figured it out all on my own, and he didn't have to do anything, but I know he would have helped me if he'd had time. Anyway, I think it's about time we declared a problem to be solved, don't you? I wanted to be able to look at one page and see for a single room the status of all the decisions we'd have to make on selecting and buying stuff. I'd want to see the list of components down the left column, things like toilets, paints, tile. And then over time, I'd hope to see these fields completed for brand, name, a picture of what I'd chosen, how much it was going to cost, and its status. Had I made a decision? Had I ordered it yet? Had it been delivered? Had it been finally installed? I thought at first that I'd not only have separate tables for each room, but separate tables for each type of component. But that didn't actually work. Instead, I created one giant table called components. The components table has fields for model name, type, like is it a faucet, a sink, or paint, material, price per quantity, things like that. Airtable has so many fun field types, and I employed a lot of them here. Like, for example, there's a star rating field that is really going to be useful for eliminating dumb things we see. You can add attachments to a field so we can actually put in pictures of each item. Now, my memory for names and models of things is nearly non-existent, so a picture will be super helpful to jog my memory. Now back to the room tables. In each room's table, I can create a field that is linked to another table. This is finally the value of a relational database. In each room table, I put a field which is linked to the components table. Then within a given record for that field, I can actually do a lookup of a specific component. So in my downstairs bath table, for example, I can have a record called faucet, select a specific model name from a drop-down menu that is automatically pulled from the components table. Once I do that, the rest of the fields are going to auto-populate, calculating the total cost and showing me a picture, for example. If the table for components is updated, that information is automatically updated in the room table. The one thing I didn't like about this approach, though, was that my components table was going to be this giant pile of glop all mixed together. There's going to be paint and then a faucet and paint and a toilet, all mixed up. And these are all things we're just thinking about buying, not necessarily the ones we've chosen. Now, I know I could sort by field so the faucets were near each other and the sinks were together, but it seems so messy. But then I saw the group button in the menu bar and I squealed with delight at what it does. I really did. I squealed. Group does what the name implies. It groups things on the table by whatever field you request. I grouped by type, and faucets were neatly separated, visually beautifully separated from paint and tile. Not only does Airtable have all of these great features that allow you to edit and view from iOS in your Mac and Windows and Android in the web, sharing of Airtable bases is built in. They're all still available in the free model. Simply hit the share button, put in the person's email, and they get an invite to come play with you. Steve and I can enter information and create views and grouping the way we like it and not affect the other person's view of the information in the base. Now, I've absolutely only barely scraped the surface of Airtable, and yet it has helped me understand how relational databases work. I understand now how the different tables can relate to each other and yet are still standalone entities. It's still a lot like a spreadsheet, so it's familiar and yet far more friendly for this type of task. I forgot to mention you actually can do equations. I think I said when I was talking about the tile, for example, I had price per quantity. In the within a given room, I could put in square footage, and the price per quantity would then calculate out the total cost. So you do have equations like you would in a spreadsheet. Now, I mentioned up front that all of these features I'm using are still free. So I thought it'd be good to close this discussion by telling you about the limitations on the free version of Airtable. For free, you get unlimited bases, but each base is limited to 1,200 records per base and 2 gigabytes worth of attachments. I got to tell you, if I ever get close to that much bit data in a base, you'll know I've slipped fully down the rabbit hole into madness. For free, Airtable will save 2 weeks of revisions and snapshot history as well. This is great to know because Airtable doesn't nag you constantly to confirm changes. So it's really good to know you have a safety net. I mean, you hit delete and it goes, okay. And it's like, what about this? It's gone. Okay, they save some snapshots and revision history, so that's great. Airtable has what they call essentials, and from the free version to enterprise, they're all available. The essentials are And those essentials are rich field types that I've described, modifiable views, including grid, calendar, form, Kanban, and, only people like Denise Crown know what a Kanban is. Actually, I think there's somebody else who knows who those are. Anyway, and there's galleries. I didn't even go into any of these kind of views. There's apps for the web, desktop, iOS, and Android, like I said, and real-time collaboration and commenting. I got to tell you, I didn't even realize the collaboration was real-time until I saw this in the pricing. If you're interested in even more advanced options, check out the link in the show notes to the pricing page. I'm so excited about Airtable and using a relational database that I'm actually looking forward to the bathroom remodel project.
So 2 questions came up. You thoroughly answered the first one about whether it's free, so you got into that pretty well. But remind me, is Airtable kind of feels like a web app? Is it the Mac version feels?
It feels like a web app. Yeah, I tried to do a screenshot of a window, and thank you, Ian, saving chapter.
And
I
that's
didn't see my GIF.
Thing. Sandy wondered if you got a chapter marker at the beginning of this or the end of the last segment.
I did. The Airtable one has a thing.
Okay.
Do you mind if I show him the bathroom remodel?
No. Let me.
I need to change what I'm sharing though. Okay. Let's see. This one. It's a challenge because I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not wearing my glasses anymore, and I am not wearing contact lenses. That's why I'm peering at the screen like an old lady.
How about now, TJ? Am I muted?
You're not muted. Okay. There. Did that work?
Yes. Although it's a small portion of the...
Oh, okay. Let me see if I shrink it to... Yeah, let me see if I make it more proportional. Is that better?
There you go.
Okay, so this is the app, and it does feel very web appy. If you go into the web, it looks exactly like this. So I'll open up this bathroom remodel.
Can we do that full screen to take over the entire, to replace everything? I thought there was.
You would have to add you just add a thing, add one of those layers.
Right.
I'll let you work on that while I explain it.
Got it.
Okay. So if you look at the components list, look how pretty this is, how it's, this is that group thing I was telling you about. So if I ungroup it, if I get rid of that, it's just this giant list of, let me get rid of that little window. So it's this giant list and it goes across and everything and it looks all bleh. These are all fake brands and everything. Hey, Kevin came in.
Hey.
All right. So Brett has been doing wingman duties, and he's got TJ as his junior apprentice, who is supposed to be putting up the animated GIF when I should save, but I have not seen it lately, so I don't know.
It took two people to do the job of Kevin.
2 people and a GIF of
TJ and
Kevin.
Brett.
So I'm going to tap on group and pick a field to group by, and this is where I'm going to go by type, and that's how you see that now it's all pretty into these little groups. Isn't that cute? And you can have pictures in there. I just put all kinds of stuff in here. Like there's a picture in one. This is all fake. There's no real data in here. I named all of my components fertile after characters from a book we're reading. And then I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do here. So the grid view, or this is the view for the master, and these are all the things I'm going to need to have in there. I'm still kind of working on this. Hey, Kevin's not jiffing.
That was TJ.
Animating? Yeah, why isn't he animating? Is he
Mine
animating
is.
for you?
Yeah.
Oh, there. I have to click on him. Oh, that's scary. Save!
Mine auto-animated, so there must be a setting.
Huh.
You must have turned off your auto-animation.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a good idea. I probably did it on purpose. Anyway, that's kind of what this looks like. I can show you like the CSUN interviews or the NAB ones that we're doing right now. So here's where you see, this is my view. If I take this view and I say I go to just regular grid view, I think it's grid view. Yeah, there you go. So here's all the company names. There's the edit number, the record date, the interview location, emails, podcast, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I should probably click that. Here, watch. I'll just check that little box. And now it shows that I podcasted about it. And you can see which Twitter accounts we've done, the blog post published, blah, 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 and the email addresses of everybody. Isn't that cute? But if I go to my view, I go to Allison's view, Now all that stuff that Steve needed is gone. I've got email sent, podcast, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. That exciting? All right. Nobody cares.
I care. Well, actually, John showed a lot of interest.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
okay, good.
He said he was checking it out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, John, you and I could have fun with this because I'm stuck on some stuff. It would be fun to talk to somebody about.
It's not.
I think Jen Troy might be getting tired of me. Can you make forms? Yeah. So in this one, I actually did create a form. So right here, you see it says form. You go into create a form and you drag and drop the fields that you want to have in here. So right now it's got all of them in here. But like, let's say if I don't want the record number in the form, I can just drag it off. And I don't want the edit number. I don't want the record date. So when I'm doing the entry thing of the different of the business cards, I don't care about any of this stuff. I don't care about that. I haven't podcasted. I haven't tweeted it. I just get rid of all this stuff one by one. Like, there, I'm grabbing the badly. And then when this is done, this is a form that is actually a URL. So if I go to share form, it gives me this URL and I could then add stuff to it. But I'm going to take that down quickly because I don't want anybody messing around in that. So how do I delete a form? I don't know how to delete a form. That would be a good thing to know how to do, wouldn't it?
So the beauty of the form is you can, and with the URL twist, is you can request data from people. They can input to the form, but they don't see the collection of all the information. They just provide their own data without having access to the database.
Correct.
So that's a way to input without, kind of a one-way input. If you're concerned about database corruption.
Exactly. There we go. I was able to delete that form. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. All right. Let me quit that. And now I'll go back to... Interesting. It left it up there, didn't it? Whoop. Nope. Now my twin is
You really
there.
like yourself there, don't you, Podfeed?
Steve, you should switch one of them so it's looking the other way. That would be fun. Oh, I could have shared... Oh, no, that's not what you wanted. Okay. All right. So now, did anybody tell me to save and do a chapter marker?
Well, John,
anybody did.
Someone did Sandy did a while ago.
Okay, what's after this?
So basically, for free, you're doing everything that you think you'd want to do as a home user. Can you? So think
far, I mean, there is cooler stuff.
What's the cool stuff that you're missing aside from the volumes of data that you can't handle, which would be well above your normal needs anyway?
I told people to look at the link in the show notes to the pricing page. Here, if you want to see the pricing, so you can see what you get. There's things called blocks, and I don't know what those really are.
Yeah,
I don't
Ian
know what block is.
There.
Oh, okay.
There it is again.
Okay. I'm going to do an ad. Go. There. One of the reasons I do the show, or, well, to be honest, perhaps the entire main reason, is to allow me to play with tech and find somebody to talk to about it. If I like something, I'm always going to tell you about it. If it's a piece of hardware gear, I want to be able to show it to you and tell you where you can buy it. With Amazon, it's an easy way to share a link, and everyone knows it's a site they can trust. That's what makes the Amazon affiliate link so awesome that I put in the show notes. If you click on the link, you'll get to something I've actually used or a guest reviewer has used. You'll be able to buy it for a fair price, and it often results in a small percentage going back into the Podfeed coffers to help pay the expenses of producing the podcast. If you think of something else to buy after you click on one of the links of one of these Amazon affiliate links, turns out that counts too. So I really appreciate everybody who remembers to click those links to help support the NosillaCast. By the way, I'm going to change the show notes so they don't show what I'm saying about that, because technically I'm only supposed to say it's an affiliate program.
You're not supposed to say link?
No, I can say that, but I'm not supposed to say, encourage you to do it. There's all kinds of, it's funny.
You're not supposed to encourage people to use your affiliate link.
Or say that I can say a small percentage may go towards it. And it's like, that's it. That's all I'm supposed to be saying.
Oh.
So you're not going to see it in the show notes as much.
I don't think that'd be too big of a loss.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay.
Did you do your chapter mark for the next segment?
No, I did not. Let's do
Good
that.
job,
I was looking to see
wingman.
what I want to see. I want to see the animated GIF. I'm just saying. It's not the same.
All right, who is doing that?
I don't know. I need me my GIF. I made myself laugh making that. All right, we need some security bits music. Let's find Keep It. You guys really should try Keep It. Who's doing all that scrolling?
That's me.
You
but
keep
someone's
scrolling.
impersonating me. Probably TJ.
There we go. Yeah. What do I need? I need GarageBand jingles. I need security bits. Because
it is TJ.
I love having TJ in here. It's fun. Okay, I stopped. Another podcast I listened to lost their affiliate account with Amazon because they handled it. Yeah, I would hate to lose that because it is reasonably lucrative for very little work on my part. All right, now put that into there. And where was I? Chit Chat audio. No, the NosillaCast audio. Where's security bits? What'd I do with it? Ruh-roh.
I have a link. Do you want me to send you the link?
No, that doesn't have
Oh, you
any
need the
audio
file.
in it. Yeah. There it is. It's where it should be. All right. This is not a double ender. All right. Let's hear that. NosillaCast. Turns out that counts too. So I really appreciate everybody who remembers to click those links to help support the NosillaCast. Okay, that's just not going to come in yet. How did TJ take your avatar?
I'm sure
that's what you meant by impersonating.
Well, he took my avatar and my name, and the only way you can tell it wasn't me is it wasn't a moderator tag. It wasn't highlighted in red.
Well, actually, if you right-click on it, if you click on it...
there he fixed it.
Wait,
yeah, that's another way to do it, is right-click.
It says TJPK for...
He just changed it back.
But it did say... That's interesting. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's weird.
Leave it up to TJ.
You're such an experimenter. No, don't be sorry. That's kind of cool. Except I'm not sure I wouldn't want Kevin or George from Tulsa knowing about this. All right, let's see how this sounds. Okay, let's see right there. Well, it's that time of the week. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Busschots. And you know what, Bart? I was looking through some old postings and realized in the old days, we did the NosillaCast, Security Bits, and Chit Chat all in one episode.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
This is the... Did you hear how long that gap was? I'm actually going to delete it. No.
What was that caused by?
Lag.
You had like 500 millisecond lag time?
I don't know. See there. All in one episode.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
This is the ever-expanding content because now it's like 3 shows practically. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's actually, I used to just write you a little email and you'd read it out.
All right. Almost to the end here. Okay, that should go there. All right.
Bart's voice sounds different. In which way, Sandy?
And to stay secure.
Really?
Oh, wait. Yeah, it could be because that's a local recording sent to you by the file, right?
No, it isn't.
Oh, I thought you said you did a double ender.
I did on Chit Chat.
The security bits. Got it.
Kevin's going to send $10 to TJ to learn how to impersonate people. It's higher and faster. Huh. Does it sound different to you, Steve?
Well, my pleasure as always. And until next time, remember to stay patched and to stay secure.
Maybe it's
at the beginning it did, and then it got more normal. Maybe he was excited.
Okay. I'm going to do the end recording. Muting Steve. Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, suggestions, maybe a recording for next week, pretty please, so I don't have to work so hard before I go to the wedding. You can do all of that by emailing me at allison@podfeet.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter, look for @podfeet. And remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com/whatever. You can go to podfeet.com/Patreon and help support the show that way, or podfeet.com/Facebook and podfeet.com/Google+ if you want to join the conversation. If you want to get in on our Discord chat, go to podfeet.com/chat. If you want to help with those Amazon affiliate links, try out podfeet.com/Amazon. And if you want to join the fun in the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live. Normally on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time, but not until June 3rd. And when you do it, you can join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. A lot of vocal fry on that one.
Since when don't you have vocal fry?
I don't have vocal fry normally.
At the end.
Do I? Oh, at the end of the show, you mean?
Yes. That's your tagline.
All right. Let's see. We need some music. And
that's kind of a cool
outro.
Apple logo.
Ooh, that is cool. Did you make that, TJ, or did you find that somewhere?
Look at that.
That is really slick. I wonder if you made that. Found it. Okay, cool. Let's see. That's the way that works. All right, go over there. All right. Till June 3rd, and when you do it, you can join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening, and stay subscribed. That was only 3 chapters. Does that sound right, Steve? Oh, no, 4. I did one for Keep It, Backblaze, Airtable, and Security Bits.
Okay, so you don't do one for Chit Chat? You don't do one for Screencast Online?
I did one for that. I did Keep It thing.
Backblaze.
Got Backblaze.
Airtable, Security Bits. So that's 4.
4. Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, we can absolutely talk about that, Steve. Why don't you tell people? TJ's coming to MacStock.
Yeah, that's gonna be
MacStock
good.
Expo. Woohoo!
And I think Daniel is right, Ian.
That's right. Daniel's coming.
So
we got to get new blood in there. The rest of us are getting old.
We're getting too old.
It's sad, isn't it? Oh,
John's
and
coming.
John, which John? NosillaCast, you're coming to MacStock.
Cool.
Oh my God, that's so exciting! Oh yay, that's awesome! All right, one of these years we're gonna get Kevin and Sandy there too. Brett, you're going, right? Brett usually goes. That's very cool. That is very exciting. All right. And Frank goes, right?
Frank, yeah, will he be there?
All right. All right, he's got his flights and hotel. Are you staying where all the cool kids are staying, the conference hotel? That's excellent. All right, Frank will be there.
Frank's going to be there.
Come on,
Sandy.
Brett
will be there.
Brett will be there. That's a huge percentage of the live show. Oh, one of these days, Kevin. Oh, couldn't get into that hotel. Okay, you'll be nearby though, right? We got our flights booked. Oh, one of the other 3 hotels. That's cool. That's close by is good. That'll be great. So there's going to be game night. It's going to be all nerded up. Gene McDonald's going to be there. Kelly Guimont's going to be there. Adam Christensen. David Ginsburg. Brett's got his train tickets booked. It's going to be great. I'm there in spirit. Absolutely. All right. Well, I think I'm done recording, and it is 6:01. I'm exporting from Hindenburg right now. So I think we're ready to call the game. So no live show. Show's coming out Tuesday. Everybody say it after me. No live show. By the way, at 5 p.m. Pacific time next week, you can come into the live chat. In fact, you can come in on the chat on Thursday at 4 if you want.
You can come in anytime you want.
All right, everybody. 2 weeks off. Okay. We'll see you guys. Bye.
Good night, Gracie.
Sign us off, Steve.
All right, we're going off air. 3, 2, 1, now.